is the High Drive Lookout, or maybe it's High Drive Park, I don't actually know. And this is in South Hill of Spokane, and as you can see, we have a very wide vista down into a valley below. And the idea is that we're going to walk down a little way, but I don't know how far. We are exploring again. So we're just walking slowly down the trail, and as you can see, it's really pretty apparent. This is what a natural forest looks like in this area. You have an open ponderosa woodland. So here, this looks much closer to what I'm used to in Montana than what I'm used to in the Pacific Northwest, even though, of course, Spokane is in Washington. That is a maple tree. And one interesting thing is, I just said, you know, this is an open ponderosa woodland, but we do have in shadier spots or more well-watered spots little hints of you know, this is a Pacific Northwest forest. I came here with a friend, and we took like a little loop, and then they had to go back home. So I'm going to continue on from here. So I'm kind of re-walking some things that I've seen before. And there we have another plant that can be familiar and temperate up to like alpine climates, which is we just have wild rose. A little bit different than the wild rose I'm used to in Montana, but there are many, many species and subspecies of rosa. Where I'm walking right now, even though we're on a hillside, you can see the hill going up and down. This path itself is pretty level, which is nice. My ankles were already feeling a little bit tired today. We have a little hawthorn here. Doesn't look old enough to flower just yet, and that's another example of a tree that's Pacific Northwest but does occur inland in places, but not quite with the flourishes it would have if we were in Portland, where there's hordes and hordes of hawthorns, thickets of them. And right here we have a path that's splitting, and I think I'm going to tend towards the left. And so far on this path, 2 bicyclists have passed me, and then 3 people passed me, but other than right in the parking lot of the viewpoint, it's not a busy trail. Not super isolated, but not super busy. You can see a trail runner ahead. Stay hydrated. Don't have a lot of shade here. Do have a nice breeze though. This trail does continue for a while. This is not like a gigantic natural area, but it's, as you can see, more extensive and expansive than a typical city park. And along with that, I'm also not 100% sure what the auspices of this park are. According to Google Maps, this is a place called High Drive Bluff Park. High Drive is a major road up in that direction, the road we came on. And, you know, sometimes Google is inaccurate or incorrect, and it didn't even say, is this a city park, a county park, is this something else? This could be a private piece of land maintained as a park. I'm not sure, but for now it doesn't seem to matter, so we'll just leave that as a mystery. This is another plant that we can find in temperate regions, from low down up to the mountaintops, lupine. Very hardy plant and adaptable, so not surprised to see it there, but I am happy to see it there. Also, as a note, that down there is not the highway or freeway that we came in from when we got here from the Tri-Cities. This actually goes to Pullman and to Idaho eventually. That is U.S. Highway I-195. I didn't actually know that. I was for a minute confused and thought that was the freeway I came in on. Anyway, so we're walking parallel to that, and like I said, I don't know how far we are going from here. So I am thinking it might be time to go upward, but I don't know how long that path would last. So I'm going to continue along this trail, since it seems to be the more established trail. At some point soon, I'm going to try to figure out how to go that way. So here we have a smaller trail diverting to the right, and it seems the main trail is going upward, and I hope it continues to go upward, because I don't want to be out in the heat too long. I've been walking for a while, and I've just been following this single trail, and there's so many other routes that go up and down. So if you really wanted to, this is probably a place where you could easily spend an entire day exploring. And it's also a place that probably changes with the seasons. So in winter it's snowy, then in summer it's probably very hot, but it's, you know, you're going to see different plants and maybe animals as the year progresses. So it seems like a good place to explore and spend a lot of time. One other thing to mention, as far as this being a dry, open woodland, is we do have southern exposure here, and so we're getting a lot of direct sun, and it's quite possible that in other places around Spokane where you have, you know, some type of, you know, you're on the north side or east or west side, or you're in a canyon, you're not going to see something that's quite this open and dry. So I'm heading upward here, and I hope that this is the right way. I guess we'll find out. Also, as is sometimes the case, I regret that my Sony cannot capture smells, because ponderosa woodlands in the summer smell really good. Very dry, bracing, clean smell. I enjoy it. Well, it looks like we have some type of sign and posts and something road-like right here. So it does look like I am coming out of the park. I'll sit down there and get my bearings, if that is what it looks like it is. It is indeed what it is. I'm going to sit down for a second. I might actually continue on from here, but I'll decide after sitting down. So apparently, I looked at the map, this is the end of the park. And one thing I'm still kind of confused about the jurisdiction and organization of this park, because most of the time when you go to a park, there's a big list of rules and regulations and a name and a dedicatory plaque, sometimes a map, interpretive kiosks. Here, you have a bench and a trail, and it kind of ends there. So I am interested in like the jurisdiction of this park, but it seems to be public. It also says, according to Google Maps, that it ends pretty close to here, so this end of the trail, and that would be the road I'd walk back on. But I did see something about there being a trailhead for a bicycle trail up to a mountain or something in this direction, so I am going to walk a little bit this way and see if there is more to it than that. So ignore what I said. This is SpokaneParks.org, and we do have a map and some rules. And also, ignore also what I said. This is where Google Maps doesn't know what it's talking about. It says it ends here. As you can see, everything I've done is just that part, and it continues in this direction quite intensively. So really, this is just the beginning of the park, and this kiosk is dedicated to Susan Johnson. Think of all the people who've come here before and worked to make this park what it is and who appreciated it. I do stop and think about those people. Everyone who came before. Anyway, so there is a lot more to see, but for today I think I am going to turn around, come back with more water. So one thing to say is, even though, you know, all of this is close to this road and this suburban neighborhood, I've been on enough trails and I know what the Pacific Northwest can be like in the summer. If you do come here, like, I would say, you know, treat it like this is a nature hike and bring water, bring a lot of water, maybe bring a change of clothing, something warm, because weather can change. Because even though you're only a couple hundred feet from the road, in the right conditions or the wrong conditions, it could be a problem. And the last comment I have to say is that I've really enjoyed being in Spokane, and I've just looked at a map and realized there's an embarrassment of riches. There's a lot of natural areas, a lot of city parks. Some of them are extensive, like Manitou, but there's a lot of things to see and do here, and just an embarrassment of riches of, like I said, just this one place. I just walked through less than a half of it, and I said even that part I could spend a lot of time exploring. So there's a lot to do here, and I've been enjoying seeing all these places, and I will see how many of them I can get to, and hopefully it's been edifying. Anyway, so I'm going to walk back this way, and that's it for today, but there will be more.